I get it, you're staring at a wall of options, wondering if you're about to drop a serious chunk of cash on a TV that will sit there looking great but never really fit your life. You've probably watched a few unboxing videos, skimmed specs sheets, and maybe even heard someone rave about perfect blacks and AI upscaling. But the question that still lingers is whether that 83-inch monster will actually make movie night, gaming sessions, and everyday TV watching feel any better for you. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the kind of room this size lives in. An 83-inch OLED isn't something you plop on a cramped bedroom TV stand. You need a viewing distance of roughly 8 to 10 feet to really let the size and resolution breathe. If your living room or home theater already has that kind of space, you're in the sweet spot. If you're thinking of squeezing it into a tighter layout, you'll end up with a screen that dominates the wall and forces you to crane your neck, which defeats the purpose of an immersive experience. Now, the biggest draw of this LG model is the OLED panel itself. OLED technology gives you those true blacks that LCDs can only simulate, and on an 83-inch canvas that contrast jump is dramatic. I tried it with a classic film that's notorious for its dark scenes, think The Godfather early night sequences. The shadows stayed deep without turning into a murky gray, and the colors stayed true, thanks to LG's perfect black and perfect color claim. That's not just marketing fluff, it's what you notice when you're trying to follow a subtle facial expression in low light. The AI side of things is where the TV tries to make the everyday easier. The Alpha 8 AI processor Gen 2 does two things you'll actually feel. It upscales lower resolution content and it tailors picture and sound settings to your room. If you throw a 1080p YouTube video at it, the processor pulls out detail you didn't think was there, smoothing edges without making the image look artificially sharpened. For streaming services that still deliver 4K, the upscaler is less noticeable but still adds a little extra crispness. The personalized picture and sound wizard walks you through a quick mic test and a few on-screen patterns. Then it remembers those preferences for future viewing. In my testing, after the initial setup, the TV kept the brightness level comfortable even when the ambient light changed from bright daytime to a dim evening, which is something I appreciate because I don't want to constantly dive into menus. Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos are also baked in, and that combo is a real treat if you have a decent sound system or a soundbar that can handle object-based audio. I paired the TV with a mid-range Dolby Atmos soundbar, and the overhead effects in an action movie felt genuinely three-dimensional. It's not the kind of thing that will make your cheap TV speakers sound like a theater, but it does give you a clear reason to invest in a proper audio setup instead of relying on the TV's built-in speakers. Gamers will notice the ultimate gameplay mode with a 120Hz refresh rate. On a PlayStation 5, the TV handled fast-moving titles like Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart without noticeable judder, and the low input lag felt competitive. The only caveat is that to hit 120Hz you need to enable the specific gaming HDMI port and turn off some motion smoothing features. That's a tiny extra step, but it's worth noting because if you leave those settings on you'll actually introduce a bit of input lag that defeats the purpose of the high refresh rate. On the software side, LG's WebOS is pretty intuitive. The home screen is clean, the App Store has all the major streaming services, and the voice assistant integration, both Alexa built-in and the AI Search and Concierge, lets you ask for a show, change the volume, or even control compatible smart home devices without lifting a remote. I found the AI Search especially handy when I could type sci-fi series with space battles and the TV instantly suggested a handful of titles across Netflix and Prime Video. It's not a revolutionary AI, but it does cut down the time you spend scrolling. So who should actually consider buying this 83-inch OLED? If you're a home theater enthusiast who already has a decent room, a decent sound system, and you binge high-budget series or watch a lot of cinema-grade content, this TV hits the mark. Its size and picture quality make it a centerpiece that justifies the premium. It also works well for serious gamers who value low lag and high refresh rates, provided they have a console that can push 4K at 120Hz. And if you love having a smart hub that can answer questions, control lights, and suggest content, the built-in Alexa and AI concierge will feel like a nice perk. Who should skip it? If your living space can't comfortably accommodate an 83-inch screen, the impact of those perfect blacks gets lost and you may end up with a TV